Jealousy, da 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 da. Jealousy, da 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 da. Jealousy is the root. Jealousy, da 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 da. Jealousy, da 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 da. Jealousy is the root of hatred. Friends today, enemies tomorrow. All because of jealousy, gossiping all about, planning every day and every night, destroying another man's property, caused because of jealousy. Jealousy. Yes, so today's topic is about jealousy. That song was released in 1988 by Evie Edna Ogole. It was very popular on national television back in the 80s while I was growing up. Yes, you're welcome back to my channel. If you're new to this channel, I am Mary and this is Creating with Mary. And on this channel, we are about creating the best version of ourselves. And that involves healing from past wounds, that involves growth, that involves learning and transformation, that involves, skills that will help us to transform our lives into the best version of ourselves, literally. I've been able to achieve that in my life, and that is a continuous event. It doesn't stop. Moment by moment you create the best version of self. And it's a community here, a community of people who are committed to this same ideal of creating the best version of themselves, moving themselves higher up, actualizing the higher self, developing their best potential. That is what we are doing here. That is what this is about. And if you're new to this channel, I welcome you. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, I'll invite you to click the red subscribe button down below this video and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss any new video upload from me. I release videos every Tuesdays and Fridays. Jealousy is a very common human behavior, very common. If you look around, even you would find within yourself. I can find within myself at some point along my journey where I've had developed jealousy for someone. I've become jealous in a romantic relationship. So it's not limited to romantic relationship. Jealousy can happen in the workplace, in the home, anywhere humans are. There's a tendency to be jealous. So what is jealousy? So jealousy is this desire to not lose something that one possesses or one has. You're holding tightly to something. It's a feeling of insecurity that usually causes this jealousy to develop. When somebody feels insecure, maybe in a home or in a workplace or in a romantic relationship, they feel insecure. There is this low self-esteem. There is distrust. Most times this will generate jealousy within that individual who is feeling all these emotions within themselves. Like that song said, jealousy, if not watched, could develop into hatred. It becomes extreme, and taking it to the extreme. So sometimes jealousy could be normal, where you just have a little thing of trying to be protective of what you have, of your love for someone. You don't want to lose them to another person. You don't want someone else to snatch them out of your hands. But like I said in another video, remember, no one owns anyone, whether in a romantic relationship, whether in a marriage. The institution of marriage in itself is one built on trust and mutual respect. And anything outside of that bond of trust and respect, it could just be marriage in name or relationship in quotes, because the foundation, what is supposed to hold it in place, is not in place. So yes, so jealousy, if not taken account of, and you allow it to take root inside of you, could degenerate into hatred. I talked about hatred in the last video, hatred for self, hatred for others. Instead of creating the best version of self, these emotions, if not taking control of, will create the worst version of self. That's not what we are about here. We are about creating the best version of ourselves. That means we are conscious of the emotions as they are arising, as they are taking root inside of us, and we are aware of what is happening inside of ourselves, especially when we are interacting with other people. I'm a gardener, you know. I have this playlist of my gardening, and one of the things I find useful in gardening generally is that you intentionally put a seed into the soil and you water it, you nurture it until it grows and it starts producing whatever fruit that seed is supposed to produce. But along the way, sometimes you see there are weeds that will come in that soil. And as a gardener, your work is to identify what is weed and take them out so that the weeds don't take the nutrients that is meant for the plant that was intentionally and consciously put in there. So similarly, as a conscious human being, once you identify all these negative emotions, you have the responsibility to root them out as quickly as possible, because if you don't root them out, the root become strong in the ground and they even fight and displace the seeds that you intentionally planted. And before long, you might be experiencing the worst version of yourself rather than creating the best version of self. So jealousy is a negative emotion. So when we realize that there are underlying issues behind why people feel jealous, which could be as a result of low self-esteem or inferiority complex, fear of losing someone who you value highly, once you realize that these issues are what is underlying that jealousy, those gives you information to address them. In this other video, I talked about self-worth. When you realize that your self-worth is not attached to any single human, neither is it attached to any single thing, then you'll be able to overcome the feeling of low self-esteem and develop a good sense of self in this world, knowing that you're enough in yourself. You are enough. Those are one of the affirmations we also did in some other videos. So you want to check out all those videos. If you perceive that you possess a valued relationship, all you need to do is to treasure it and give it the right nutrients. There's no need to fear. There's no fear in love. If it's truly a relationship that is valued, then you will put in all the works. Put in the trust, the mutual respect, the reciprocity, the care, the attention, the quality time. Learn the love language of the partner so that the relationship can even thrive like a plant. You nurture it by giving it nutrients, rather than being afraid that you're going to lose that important business relationship, that important romantic relationship, that important parental or sibling relationship. There is no need for jealousy. It actually is a weed that, if you're not careful, will turn you into the worst version of yourself rather than the best version. On this channel, we are about creating the best version of ourselves. We want to bring out all the good that is inside of us into this world. We want to actualize the self. We want to become the best version of ourselves. That is possible, and this is very possible. I assure you that it is. So let go of fear. Fear doesn't serve anyone. Work on yourself to develop a better self-esteem, understanding that you're worthy. You're worthy of love, you're worthy of respect, you're worthy of good in the world. Whatever you think is good, you're worthy of it because you were created enough. I talked about 8, take our eyes off what we have in our own self and we focus on what someone else has. That could be the case of how jealousy also begins. Start looking at your partner and thinking, oh, I can't afford to lose this partner because of this and this and this, that they possess: beauty, brawn, financial stability, and so many reasons. But once you take account of yourself, remember you're responsible to yourself first. The other person has the responsibility to themselves. And a relationship should be based on the shared values. You're bringing the values that are similar together so that you can share those things in common. It's not based on insecurity and low self-esteem and a feeling of inferiority complexes. Those things will damage the relationship. Those develop toxicity within that relationship. If the other person senses toxicity, remember, toxicity is not good for anyone. Toxicity is not an environment for creating the best version of self. So whenever you find toxicity, you should run actually. You should flee, because you're going to bring out the worst version rather than the best version of self. So I want to encourage you today to start taking account of the thoughts and the behaviors that you're experiencing, the emotions, as they are developing, as they are occurring, as they're taking root. And if you find jealousy there, root it out immediately. Don't give it a chance to grow. Don't nurture it. Root it out immediately. That is how you create the best version of self. I'll see you again sometime soon. Thank you for watching this video.